Hey guys, this is Ryan from Muscle Without Meltdown. Wanted to have a chat with you today, something that's going to be important for you to understand, and eventually you're just going to naturally pick this up over time. But the fitness industry is a circus, really, and you're going to see that certain trends and programs and diets get recycled every few years. And what can be really extra annoying, especially as somebody who can take things pretty literally sometimes, is that they'll often be just totally contradictory programs or diets. So, what inspired me to make this video today is that, as best I can tell when I go on YouTube, it looks like the algorithm is now starting to promote the sugar diet, which I don't know anything about, but I assume that it's just a high carb diet, probably lots of fruits and whatnot, and that it's low fat, high protein, which is great. But the people promoting it are the same ones that for the last few years have been promoting carnivore or keto, which again, these are okay ways to eat. Really, any way that you can eat that's sustainable and works for you, as long as there's no like big nutrient deficiencies, it's going to be okay for the most part. But what bothers me is that the way those low carb diets were promoted was by essentially demonizing carbohydrates, and then we're going to turn around and we expect everyone to forget all of that and now embrace carbohydrates again, and that will probably entail them uh, demonizing fat or something. And it just makes it really confusing as the general consumer of this stuff. And that's honestly, to be cynical, that's probably part of the strategy. Keep people confused, and they're always having to buy new products, looking for solutions to problems that the industry is kind of creating. I guess what I would like you guys to understand as beginners is that, like I was saying, really you just need to worry about eating in a way that is sustainable for you over time, over the long term, unless you're doing like a diet for some competitive reason where there's a goal a few months down the road, or however long down the road. But if you're into this stuff for your health and longevity and all that, you really want to be thinking about diet in terms of, hey, how could I eat for the rest of my life and get the result I want? And so, like for me, that's been more of that high carb approach where I limit my fats and get a lot of fiber, a lot of protein, and I find that just helps me stay lean while letting me feel full. But some people, they hate it. They do better on eating a lot of fat and protein, and they don't like carbs because it makes them feel bloated or whatever. But really, to each their own, right? It's about not what works for you, because honestly, pretty much any diet could work for an individual if they were actually able to adhere to it. But it's the adherence that is the issue, right? So when I say what works for you, I don't mean in a biological sense. I just mean psychologically. What can you stick with? Because it's the same idea with your workouts. There probably is out there like the perfect optimal workout that's going to build 0.1% more muscle than any other workout. But is it actually enjoyable? Is it something that you'd want to do every week? And if the answer is no, which is likely the case, it's not going to be an effective program in reality, because you're just not going to put yourself into it and you're not going to stick with it. So same principle with diet. And you shouldn't even really be thinking in terms of diet. You should be thinking lifestyle. But yeah, it's just wacky. Just be aware that you're going to see a lot of conflicting advice, and people are going to be talking out of both sides of their mouth and contradicting themselves. A good test you can do is if somebody is, selling you a product that is the solution to the problem they're talking about, they probably have a conflict of interest there, right? So just be careful. You can always leave a comment on these videos and I can look at stuff for you and say, hey, I think that might be a scam. But really, over time, you will learn to feel it out. But the direct answer is that 99% of the time, supplements and special diets and whatnot, yeah, they're either scams or they're just kind of really overpriced.